What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Mo, and I'm back with another video. In today's video, we'll be discussing the pros and cons of lowering your car on coilovers or lowering springs. So let's get into it. The first pro I could say about lowering your car is eliminating that wheel gap between your wheels and your fenders. Before I lowered my car, that was a big pet peeve for me. Like, hold on, let me wipe my camera off, y'all. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, that was a big pet peeve for me, man, was my wheel gap. Can honestly say it really bothered me a lot, just seeing how much space I had between my tires and my fenders. Like, oh man, just thinking about it brings back memories. But that's one pro that I could say about lowering your car, that it helps eliminate the wheel gap you got. So that's one pro. So let's get into the second. The second pro I could say when you lower your car is how it feels when you're driving it. So I can honestly say, like, lowering my car, it felt like I really had like way more control of the car now since it's lowered. Like, way more control. And like, what I mean by control, I could say like turns, even like on a highway and driving in a straight line, like the car is just way planted. It's planted. It corners amazing. It turns good, and everything else, like braking too. I noticed like my braking got a little better once I lowered the car. Like, I guess just because like the downforce. I don't know. Don't eat me up in the comments about that, but I noticed that also. So my third pro, I think I probably have like 4 pros, 5 pros the most, but my third pro is that, damn, I forgot. I forgot my third pro. All right, I remember now. But my third pro is being able to adjust your suspension the way you want it, fine tune it. They call it like that, fine tune your suspension. So you're only able to fine tune your suspension when you're on coilovers. Sad to say, when you're on lowering springs, the look you got is final. There's no changing that unless you get coilovers. So being able to fine tune, adjust the height of my car is the best thing ever. So since I lowered it, I haven't adjusted because it's perfect. I go over speed bumps without scraping. I'm not too low, I'm not too high. You get it? I'm not too high. But yeah, like, real talk, that's one thing I can honestly say I'm glad about, and I'm happy that I chose not to go with the Swifts. I had them in hand. I was going to get them installed, and then I ran across these Teins, but I'm happy I didn't put no lowering springs on my car, because I feel like I'd have been too low. Loud truck. But I'd have been too low. Like, I got 2 kids, and the last thing I wanted to be was too low, not able to go over speed bumps and all type of stuff. So that's my third pro about lowering your car, like, real talk, is being able to fine tune it, just your suspension. So the fourth pro I could say is, I noticed once I lowered my car, my gas mileage started to go up. So I don't know, I reset it twice and it's accurate. Before, my gas mileage was like between 15 miles per gallon. Now I'm getting 23 miles per gallon. So I reset it 2 times and it did the same thing. It went back to normal every time. And that's not even highway driving, that's street driving. So I guess getting out that old suspension I had helped with my gas mileage. So that's another pro. So let's get to the 5th pro of lowering your car. The 5th one is, let me flip the camera for y'all. So my 5th one is just the looks. Just the looks. Like, I can honestly say, for me lowering my car, I just love the looks it gives. Like, it looks more aggressive. It looks how it's supposed to be. It should have came from factory like this, real talk. Should have came from factory like this. No wheel gaps except for in the rear. Of course, I don't want my rear slammed all the way down. Even when I throw my new rims on, I'm not gonna lower the rear because I don't like when the quarter panel fender basically the tire is fully tucked. Like, I want my rims to basically show with the body of the frame, the body of the car. So the looks is amazing. Like, it's amazing. Like, I love that. Like, sits low, sits perfect. Like, all right, I got one more pro for y'all. I got one more, and it's my sixth one. So just the comfortability, like being comfortable driving your car is the main thing, like the most important thing. So I can honestly say my OEM suspension, it was soft. Like, I hit a bump and you feel everything. Like, you turn and you get a lot of freaking what they call that, body roll. Like, now everything, like, I hit a bump, I feel like I'm riding in a Mercedes or a Cadillac. Like, real talk. Like, the ride is smooth. I don't have adjustable dampening up here, but the dampening up here is perfect. Like, it's not too stiff and not too soft. Pause. But it's not too stiff and it's not too soft. It's just right. Like, don't get me wrong, I feel certain bumps and stuff, but most of them I really don't feel them at all. So I'm happy about that. It's real comfortable. Like, I don't like driving and be able to feel every bump or every crack in the road. Like, nobody wants to feel that. So that's a big pro right there, man. Being able to drive your car and be comfortable, like, that's the number one thing for me. Let me get a thumbnail real quick for y'all. But let's get into the cons, all right? We about to get into the cons because this is funny, like, real talk. Like, so I really don't have that much cons, but I got a couple for y'all. So my first con is when you lower your car, right? You really don't want to slam it all the way. Like, you damage the underneath of your car. Like, who wants to have their car slammed, maxed out on their coils, basically? So let me put a picture right here. So when I first lowered my car, this is how it looked, and I had to do adjustments. But this is completely slammed. Nobody wants to be like that. When you're slammed, you mess up your bumper, you mess up your undercarriage of your car, you mess up your exhaust of your car, because that's going to scrape, and you mess up your splash guards and your wheel well. So funny thing about this right here, this happened, I took this car to LA and back, no problems at all. I got off the highway and literally my I heard like a dragging noise. I'm like, what the hell is dragging? Like, and I pulled over and looked, and it was my freaking splash guard, because it wasn't fully mounted down, bolted down. So yeah, that happened. But yeah, man, you do not want to lower your car to the max, to the point where you're driving around town and you're uncomfortable. Like, who wants to be scraping and tearing up their car underneath? Like, nobody. And if you do, shout out to you, but I'm not about that stance life. Like, I'm good. So another con I could say about lowering your car, when you lower your car, right, and you daily drive your car, you want to be able to drive on the roads regular, without having to do the most. So if you know that you live in a state where the roads are horrible, do not go too crazy. I wouldn't even recommend lowering your car if the streets is horrible in your state, in your town, wherever. I wouldn't even recommend it. Just get an OEM suspension, a new, put it on and make it do what it do, just because, like, you do not want to deal with being uncomfortable driving, have to drive mad slow over things. That had to go with, like, the first con, like, being slammed to the floor. Like, if you know your state has bad roads, don't even lower your car. I'm gonna just save you from that headache. Don't even lower it, because you could damage your oil pan. Like, luckily my sway bar goes like this over it and it protects it, but shoot, you mess around, lose an oil pan, man. All my Honda dudes already know about that from being low. When you too low in a Honda, your oil pan is gonna go. It's gonna get scratched up. It's gonna go. So that's my second con. Third con, you cannot pack people in your car like sardines. Probably before you lowered your car, but after, no. Like, it's really like a weight capacity. So if you're a heavy person already, make sure you at least adjust your suspension to a certain amount, so when you get in it, it sits a perfect height, instead of when you get in it and it's sitting in lower. Like, you do not want that. So the only time I scrape is when I have my girl in the car, because it's more weight in the front. So I'll scrape when she's in the car. Not bad, just like a little, you know what I'm saying? Nothing too crazy. I hit my exhaust one day and it made a thump noise and it scared me, I ain't gonna lie. But you scrape for surely when you have 4 people, 3 people in your car. I don't scrape in the rear at all, but I scrape in the front because my front is lower than the rear. So that's another con right there. And I think that was number 3, so let's get into number 4. Number 4, make sure you know when you're replacing suspension components on your car. So when you lower in your car, just know that things fail. Different parts fail after a while. So when you're removing your calipers and disconnecting your upper control arm and ball joint and all that other type of stuff, just know you might have to replace something. You might have to. 9 times out of 10 you will replace another part while you doing your suspension. So just be aware of that, because a lot of people think they could just throw a lowering springs or coilovers on their car and everything go back together perfectly. No. When I lowered my car, I had to replace my front sway arm links. And another thing I got to replace, I got it, and this will probably be the next video for y'all. But for these cars, right, I don't even know, y'all can see the coilovers right there, but my strut, basically, yes, it's your strut, and it's a bushing that goes in between your rear strut. And my strut basically went bad. The bushing went bad. Not the strut. My OEM strut was bad, but the bushing in my OEM strut was bad too. So when that one was going to get changed, we had to put the bolt back in, just because that bushing needed to be replaced. So I have one OEM strut still on this car that I gotta put on. So that'll probably be the next video for y'all for surely. But parts go bad, and once you start taking things apart, sometimes they don't go back together until you replace it with a new part. So always remember that. Like, real talk, always remember that. And then what was that, number 5 or something, 6, whatever. But this is my last con for y'all, and I'm gonna wrap this video up. But the last con is when you're parking, right, you got to be careful. Like, real talk. Like, I just scraped my front bumper up. Luckily, I'm gonna get a new bumper or get this shit just redone. But say like when you pulling up the stores and they got that cement block right here, yo, be careful. Like, real talk, be careful when you parking your car, because as you can see my freaking bumper got a little gap right here, so I'm gonna have to tighten that for surely. But that happened from parking on that cement block a little bit, and when I reverse, it snatches your bumper. So you just got to be aware of stuff like that when you lower. Like, when you lower, your car sits lower, things be in the way, and you might freaking lose a bumper. I even seen on these cars, like when people lower their G's too low, yo, no bullshit, I seen somebody go over a speed bump and they whole exhaust from the Y pipe back came off. Like, real talk. So y'all got to be careful when you choosing to modify your car, lower it, or do anything period to your car. Hope this video helped you guys and answer some of the questions you guys have. Thank you for watching it. If you made it this far, comment down low life. Comment down below life. Real talk. But thank you again for watching. It's your boy Mo, and I'm out. Let's run it up. We almost at 1K. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure you give me a like. Make sure you give your boy a comment. Like, what's stopping you? Like, all right, I gave y'all enough time. So I'm out. It's your boy Mo, and y'all have a good day, man. Peace till next time.